Earth's surface has been different in the past and will be different in the future. The heart of our planet is warm, and its energy undoubtedly influences life on continents and seas. And one of the main natural monuments that are the result of this dynamic is mountains. The mountains do not go unnoticed. Their size and grandeur attract tourists and adventurers from the four corners of the earth. These giants can be classified according to their formation process. Fold mountains originate from the movement of the Earth's crust, where two tectonic plates collide, elevating their edges. Mountains like those of the European Alps, the Andes in South America, and those of the west of North America are fold mountains. The Himalayas were formed by this process when the Indian subcontinent hit Asia. There are also mountains formed by the breaking of part of the crust. There are those that are more rounded, which are formed by the accumulation of magma below the surface. These structures can also be formed by overlapping layers of magma that comes from volcanoes. And if you wait long enough, it is possible that some of the fold mountains will turn into large plateaus. These are flat regions of high altitude which have been sculpted for millions of years by erosion caused by winds. These giants can also be differentiated according to their age. Young mountains are the result of more recent geological activities. These mountains have had less time of exposure to environmental weather conditions to decrease their height. That is why they are higher and their peaks are sharper. Moreover, ancient mountains, as their name suggests, are older, and therefore suffered more from the chemical and physical wear of the environment, shrinking them and making their tips more rounded. When it comes to the size of this landform, Asia is the continent with the highest mountains in the world. All 14 mountains over 8,000 meters high, or 26,000 feet, are located on this continent, and 10 are located specifically in the Himalayan mountain range. The beauty and size of the mountains increase the admiration of millions of people in the world. So people visit this place for the most diverse activities, whether to simply see them from afar or to practice some sport, and these are many. You can try climbing a steep wall or skiing on a snow-covered mountain. When talking about a sport that involves climbing a mountain, there are several precautions that must be taken. First, you must evaluate your level of experience with the sport. If you are a beginner, look for less steep mountains and easier to climb. And as you have gained experience, you can venture on harder trails. But do not rush. If you are afraid or have no experience, always look for someone who already know and have done the trail. In addition, seek to familiarize yourself with the environment. Try to observe the particularities of the place, such as elevations and landmarks. Before scheduling the climbing, check the weather forecast. Periods of heavy rain or snowfall should be avoided. Let people who are not coming with you knowing where you are and how long you should stay there. Choose shoes and clothes suitable for the adventure, and consult guides to find out what equipment and food to bring. All this to avoid running out of supplies, to do not carry unnecessary weight, and especially to travel safely. Have you checked everything for your ride? Don't forget that nature is beautiful, but it can be dangerous. Respect it and respect your limits and your friends. Climbing very high mountains also requires patience and training. This is because the rarefied air conditions put our body in extreme conditions. The acclimatization at 3,000 meters of altitude, which is approximately the average altitude of Quito in Ecuador, can take a few days. At 5,000 meters, this process takes around a week. The easiest condition for breathing happens at the sea level, where we have 1 atmosphere pressure. At 3,000 meters, the atmospheric pressure drops to 73% at the sea level. And at the summit of Mount Everest, more than 8,000 meters above the sea, The pressure is only 30% compared to what coastline people are used to. For this reason, many climbers use the climb high, sleep low method. In this method, climbers do not climb to the top at once. They climb to a limited height, but descend and sleep at a lower altitude. For example, they go up to 4,000 meters high, but they sleep at 3,000 meters. The next day, they reach 4.5 thousand meters and sleep at 3.5 thousand meters, and so on. Breathing difficulty is just one of the challenges to be faced by those who wish to face the highest mountain in the world. The percentage of deaths on Everest directly related to rarefied air, the so-called mountain sickness, between the years of 2010 and 2018 was just over 16%. On the other hand, avalanches were responsible for more than 40% of deaths in this period. In that place, bodies of people who died and could not be rescued can still be seen by those who go there. Estimates indicate that more than 280 people have already died trying this challenge. Although dangerous, the death rate of those who try to climb the mountain has a downward trend. Currently, this rate is below 1%. Even with all the precautions taken, accidents on excursions can occur due to many factors, from fatality to being in the wrong place at the wrong time and due to the lack of respect for the rules. Accidents in snow-capped mountains, for example, are often difficult to access, and intense cold can have permanent consequences if body temperature is below ideal for a long time. In this situation, one of the main concerns should be to keep the person warm, otherwise they may enter a state of hypothermia. Hypothermia occurs when the central body temperature is below 35 degrees Celsius. While below 30 degrees it is considered severe hypothermia. The body of someone who is at a temperature of 35 degrees in an attempt to return to the ideal temperature starts to shiver. Between 35 and 30 degrees Celsius, the tremors decrease or even stop and the person begins to lose consciousness. Below 30 degrees Celsius, the symptoms are severe. The person is totally unconscious, involuntary movement disappear, and the pupils no longer show reflex. At this stage, the person loses the ability to breathe and goes into cardiac arrest. But calm down. Even for people who try to climb the highest mountain in the world, the percentage of them that end up getting injured is minimal. Not to mention that there are thousands of other mountains in the world that have no significant danger even to those without experience. Climbing a mountain is amazing. There we see the result of millions of years of evolution of the relief that created one of the greatest spectacles on Earth. Every year, thousands of people around the world decide to climb and admire all kinds of mountains possible. It is on the summit of these giants where the best places to watch the sunset are. If it were not enough, it also tells a piece of the story of how our planet was in the past. Have you ever climbed a mountain? What tip you would give to those who are starting with the sport? Leave it in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends. Also leave your suggestions for the next videos. Thank you very much for your attention and see you next time.